All right. Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. Sorry, got some technical difficulties tonight. My studio, the internet was out, so I drove back home, and that's where I'm at now. And I didn't have much to hold my camera, so I'm using a selfie stick. So you guys have to let me know if you can hear me. But here we go. Oh, hey, Delta, how are you? So, oh, good. Hey, Liam. Yeah, so I don't have a phone on here, and I don't have obviously I don't have the studio behind me. I just got my pool. Oh yeah, so you like the slapping noises? So I put out a couple videos, and earlier one yesterday. Hey, Jorge, glad you're here. And one of them that I put out was one on Graham Stephan, and it was I was going to go through it a little bit tonight, but I guess not. But it was cool because it served as an example. I looked at his $4.25 million real estate investment portfolio, and just kind of doing the numbers on his hey Merdad, on his properties. And he started out fine. You know, the first, it's kind of funny, and it's interesting, and it's not really that surprising, but for Graham Stephan, the first properties he bought, he wasn't wealthy. You know, he was doing pretty good for a young guy and a realtor. He knocked down a couple of big listings. I think he got a $40,000 listing or something. You know, that's what his payday was when it closed. And he you know, he bought a property. Oh, I think technically that's considered oh God, I don't know. It's near LA. It's just over the hill from where I used to live in the desert, over at Cajon Pass, I think. But what was interesting is he bought his first property right, 69 or 59,000. And oh, hey, Enrique. And you know, he got like a 22% cap rate, you know, a 22% return on his investment. It was a great deal. And you know, everything was kind of screwed up at that time. I actually helped somebody get a house for 34,000 that they sold for 260,000. Right at that same time, same area. And he's got another house he bought about, I don't know, same year. Again, decent deal. Got about a 15% return on that one. Well, then as he started to make easy money, right, with YouTube, the quality of his investments went down the tubes. He started getting a much lower return. And listen, it was always my plan, even when I was younger, before I had money. I thought, yeah, you know, I can't wait till I have enough money that I can just live on 5% interest. Because actually, you could get 5% interest from the bank. Hey, copy, Josh. And so I thought, oh, you know, that'd be great to have enough money to put in the bank. But you know what's sad now? Listen, imagine you work your whole life and you got $10 million, right? And that's a lot of money, okay? But imagine you got $10 million and you put it in the bank. What's funny is somebody that is on government assistance will get paid more, okay? Somebody on welfare will get paid more, you know, that has a couple of kids, than you will get paid interest on your $10 million or your $2 million. Let me do the math on that real quick. Yeah. So 1%, just say 1%. I should have said 2 million. 1% on $2 million, you know, you're going to get $20,000 a year. But if you're on welfare, you'd get more. So imagine busting your ass and saving $2 million, and you put it in the bank, and you know, the neighbor's living better than you for free. Hey, so Jared says he just got my audiobook. For those of you who don't know, my audiobook is out now. Oh, cool. And yeah, it's sold 100 copies, almost like just in a couple of days, I think. It's only been out less than a week, so I'm glad people are liking it. I enjoy audiobooks. I probably have way more credits than I have books. I need to get caught up and get some. But going back to what I was talking about is you get comfortable with the quality of your investments. You know, you're not as picky. You don't have to be as, you know, selective. And that's why his, you know, overall, then I analyzed his whole portfolio, put it together. And even his whole portfolio, he was only getting, this is talking about Graham Stephan, if you just got in. I was looking at his portfolio, a little over $4 million of investment property. And when you did the average on it, his return again is terrible. It's only about 3.8. He should be getting double that, right? I can tell you right now that in general, the industry standard, if you want to call it an industry renting, landlords, we expect at least 7.25 if you're going to buy something. I mean, some people say 6, but if you're a decent investor, you're going to expect at least 7. I can tell you the last property I bought that had only a 7.5% return, it had a 7.5% return with a 30% vacancy. So right, there was a big upside. Hey, if you just got here, please hit that subscribe button. I can't make the smack sound or the slap sound, but those of you that are a fan of that. So it's funny. I had a audio effect doing slapping. When Kevin was wrong. Just used it a couple of times. And first thing out, somebody said, "Ugh, I'm not a fan of the slap sound. These you're talking to investors, not kids." And then somebody else said, "Hey, I like that." So I think I'm talking to a range of people. And if I look at the demographics on my viewers, I got pretty much 25 to 55, right? So anyways, it is what it is. And somebody else was talking about being a little lackluster on energy, and I started thinking about that because, look, I just talk facts and I try to talk about money. Thanks, Enrique. But the fact is, that hype, all that hype when somebody's dancing around and doing a dance and, fiddling with their new car, or like Chris Crone's a good one that, he always, what I mean? It's always like the new car and he's got some, just something to talk about. That's like, kind of like, look at the balloons to me. It's like, look at the balloons. Hey, Lords, glad you're here too. It's just, I can do that. The fact is, it's not what I want to do. All I want to do is show people how to make money in real estate the way I did. And that's what I know how to do. And it's not about money. Believe me, I'm a good salesman. I could swindle and sell and do all kinds of crap. But it's not worth it to me. It's not what I want to do. I can't do it. It's not in my heart to do it. I remember one time somebody, golly, this is a long time ago, but anyways, my course I kind of had put together, and they were trying to buy it and split it up between 3 credit cards. And I said, you know what? You need to get your credit in order, right? You got to get your credit in order. I don't want your money, I gave him something. I gave him the course, but I just said, look, I was just trying to explain to him, you're wasting your money. Get your shit together, But because that consumptive debt, that's one of the worst things. People, just, buy a car, and I see people do it all the time. And some people just think, hey, that's how I get what I want. They'll buy a car, they run their credit cards up, get all the things that they want, and then 5 or 6 years go by, their house is worth, another 40, 50 grand, and they go, well, I can refi the house and cut my payments $1,000. I'm like, well, how do you really? And they're not even talking about cutting their mortgage. They're talking about adding to the mortgage and getting rid of the credit card debt. And now maybe some of you have done that. I'm happy to say I've never had to do that or never done that. But it's just so important that you consider the money as a tool. And, I was, after watching the Graham Stephan and Kevin O'Leary. Well, Kevin O'Leary, to me, he's a lender, right? He's a lender more than anything. I don't consider him a real estate guy. He would probably consider that I have too much real estate, or, but and to me, I'm not one to, I diversify within real estate. In other words, residentials, I am flipping, always got a certain amount of inventory of flipping residential. And then I've got, commercial, office, and industrial. That's how I diversify, right? Unless everybody on the earth disappears, I might be in trouble. But as long as I have everything mostly paid for, then that's my hedge, right? That's my hedge. But I understand him hoarding cash right now, and I'm kind of doing the same. And I was talking to Guy Bardacino. He was in our last class, and he called me for some critical support. which you guys, everybody, just so you know, if you ever need help, you have my cell phone. Some of you have both my cell phone numbers. Yeah, you text me. Don't be intimidated or think, oh, maybe this is a stupid question. Yeah, I mean, unless it is a stupid question. But if it's something you're concerned about, you got to call me, because we don't want any deals getting away. We don't want any deals getting away. And, like I say, it's in the beginning when I started the founding members, which I know I got a lot of them here watching, I didn't know what to expect. So I made it critical support, like only if it's critical. And in general, nobody's abused it. Nobody, in fact, Guy tonight, and he might come on here in a little bit, or, he might comment. He was going to be on the phone with us, but I don't have my studio. He said, hey, I want you to take a look at my letter. And he texted me his letter. And I looked at, not the letter, I'm sorry, the contract that's going with his letter from the course, right? And, I told him, excuse me, I said, Guy, I don't even recognize that contract. That's not my contract. And he said, oh, yeah, well, I added a few things. And, I wanted to know what I thought, which I understand. But the fact is, and I'm plugging in because I'm afraid my phone's going to go dead, so bear with me. Right now the new mystery is whether or not I got power there. But I told him, I said, man, I don't recognize that contract. And he added a bunch of stuff. And I said, you made, and I'm paraphrasing, but I told him, I said, you made the contract scary, okay? You made it intimidating. You made it less likely to be signed. And you guys can see I'm doing a balancing act here with the cord that's kind of curled up. And so I said, man, I go, he had the and or assigns in there. He had just a little too much stuff in there to make him feel better, but stuff that would probably make, that would make a seller feel a little bit concerned. And so I go, look, I can't speak to the changes that you made because I've never done it and I haven't used it. I said, you really just need to stick to what I know. I go, everything that I put in my book and everything that I put, in the mentorship, that's all stuff that's proven. That's all stuff that I know for sure works. And I said, man, I don't think there's any good reason to deviate from what I know that works. And so he just said, yeah, you know what, you're right. He said, he made that thing twice as big. I said, look, you can get a 14-page contract when you get realtors involved, and 80% of it is to cover somebody's ass, and it's understandable because it's such a litigious world. But I said, you're not there yet. All you need to do right now is make the deal. Get the agreement with somebody that they're going to sell at a certain price. That's the beginning. Once you get that done, then you go to the title company and you go, hey, we're making a deal. Here's what we got. And they might say, oh, well, what's the, if let's say you forgot something like, let's just say you forgot the closing date. Well, so you say, oh, yeah, well, you have a contract, so you're going to buy it. Maybe you forgot the closing date. You just tell the title company, well, let's make it 30 days, or you call the guy you're buying it from or whoever, and you say, let's just make this 30 days. The title company needs to know, we didn't talk about it. That's fine. You guys agree on the spot, and you take care of it. You make it very, very simple to make a deal. Like I said, I've written so many contracts just on a napkin. And the reason I say, and it's true, is that I write it on a napkin is because some of the times I'm sitting in a coffee shop or a cafe. I used to always meet at a cafe somewhere, have lunch, grab coffee, wherever, not everybody, I go to get somebody to sign it, and I drive, 60, 80, 100 miles to their house. This is in the 80s. And sit down, then, maybe it's at their house, or maybe it's, at a Denny's or something nearby. We sit down and we just sit there and say, how much? Okay. And then, all right, buyer, me, seller, whoever. And price, and I'm right, like I say, I build the contract while I'm talking to them about everything that they want. And then after I got everything they want, I say, yeah, sounds good to me. And I sign it. And then I turn the napkin and I say, okay, man, sign it, and we'll open up escrow, and I'll get this thing closed up. And they don't even hesitate to sign it. And if somebody does hesitate, and they do sometimes, they'll go, well, and I go, well, is there something you want to change? And they'll say, well, what about this? And I'll say, okay, let's address that. And I take care of that. And that's real world, folks. That's real world. Look, and if anybody wants to get in my mentorship, you can get it, and I'm not here. I could care less if you get it or not. I want people that want to make money. I think it's $649. It's either $599 or $649. But you could join it tonight, and you can get in, and you can get through that first class in Q&A, and then the next one in a week, and the next one after that, and the next one after that. It's a 1-month deal. Plenty of stuff to listen to and watch, or you know what, you can just listen to it at work or in your car or on your phone, but pound it in your head, because it's very important. The stuff that you don't get or understand, because it's all new to you, you re-listen to the stuff that you want to listen to. And if you go through, a lot of people know that everything's chapterized. So everything in my videos, the lessons that I've given, and then we do huge Q&As I've done, Zoom, a lot of people involved in those. You'll see that's part of the class now. You watch the other tapes. And then when you get through all of that, if there's something you don't know, but when you get through all that, you get my number. You have my phone, just like a lot of people do right now watching. And I want you to make a deal. I want you to be like one of my testimonials, like Liam, who's in here right now, and Ron, and Rui, I'm going to interview next week. I hope, right, Rui? Let me know if that's still on. All right, man, so let's see. Yep, Enrique, thank you. He says, worth so much, great mentor. I appreciate that plug. Let's see. Oh, gosh. Biden gets elected. Well, you know what? No matter who gets elected, they can't really destroy everything good that's happened right away. But, yeah, he's obviously, I'm not a fan. I mean, I like Trump. I love Trump for business and for the economy. The stock market went down when he got sick. When he got better, stock market popped back up. He's a businessman. He understands the approach that needs to be done and what needs to happen. And so I feel really good about the economy. I felt great because my kids are graduating. I have 2 daughters. One's graduating this December. One graduated last year. Right out of school, man. Got a job. They're working. They're making money. And you know what? My daughter's already saved she's already saved $50,000. Okay, and she's got a good job, and it has nothing to do with me. And other than I paid for her education, I paid for her college. But and of course she lives at home, has no bills, but that helps too. But when she moves out, she's on her own. She's paying her own bills. But she's already finally got the bug. Finally, right now she's 25 years old, and she's like, "Hey, come on, Dad, help me find a house." So now I got to go help her find a house, and it's interesting. Yeah, I've been buying houses forever for my kids to ultimately live in someday. That's always been my excuse for buying homes forever. And now, someone will go to Colorado. I don't know where they're going to go. I'll be an empty nester pretty soon. So now I'm starting to wonder where I'm going to go. I'm looking at buying a beach house maybe too in California now. But you just don't know where things are going to take you. But let's talk about real estate. Tom G, let's see, Q&As are awesome. They go for hours and hours. Yes, they do. I know, we do. We've had Q&As as long as 4 hours. It's pretty cool. Thanks, Charles. This is what I like. You can't believe how many emails I have of people angry at the well-knowns, right? Where they said I paid $980 of a $5,000 course, and they go, and I'm done, and I said, I've learned more, from you just watching your videos free on YouTube, and I get it, I understand it. And again, but that's like the comments that I got earlier. Why don't you got to have a little more pizzazz, or maybe have somebody, they're being constructive, that like this is boring. I said, listen, if you're bored with hearing about facts on how to make money, then it's just not your channel. It's just not your channel, you know? And so I get a kick out of it. I mean, I feel bad for anybody that's so easily, you know, distracted from what's important. You know, like I say, I could stand in front of, I have a nice car. I've had nice cars for many years. If they're ever in my video, it's just because I'm trying to do it on the fly. I don't show off my cars. In fact, if you look at my little Porsche Cayenne, I mean, it's hauls ass, 420 horsepower. It's a beautiful machine. But in fact, I want to tell you guys, just yesterday, you know what I bought? I bought an electric nail gun. You know, I have all kinds of nail guns, right? Air nail guns, framing guns. I have everything you can imagine tool-wise. But I haven't used much of it as much anymore. You know, the guys that work for me use them all. They wear them out, and they've been bought new ones since. But I needed to shoot some nails in kind of a tough spot. But I went down and I bought it was $249, and it was oh God, it's the yellow bag. Delta? No, I don't know. I can't remember. But anyways, the yellow and black is their logo. But man, what a cool, it shoots an 1.5 inch braid nail down to about a 5/8 long brad nail. It's a brad nailer. And I mean, it's just amazing that you can shoot a damn nail with a battery operated nail gun. You know, I used to own a cabinet shop, right? So, I mean, I used to pick up freezing cold aluminum guns with my hands when it's freezing. You know, the shop was cold, the guns are cold. It's like a mechanic. Yeah, DeWalt. Yeah, I think it is DeWalt. Yeah, that does sound right. I believe you're right, DeWalt. Thanks, Joe. But I would show it to you if I had a free hand. I'd go grab it and show it to you. But back to my point is, so in the back of my little, and I'll do a video on this, by the way, not to show off my car, but it's, you know, in the back of my Cayenne, it's got a fair amount of space. You could probably put maybe 4 suitcases back there, right? Well, I've got a nail gun. I've got a sledgehammer. I've got a pipe wrench. I've got a small sledge. I got like some plumbing tools. And it's not that I use this stuff very often. I don't. But when I'm on the property and there's a problem, am I going to go call a plumber for something I can fix in 15 minutes? Now, listen, I have the money to, and I can sure go ahead, but I'm taking care of my customer. I'm just going, I'll take care of it myself right now. And I just take care of it. And it's not so much about saving the money. It's about taking care of my customer, my tenant, and getting them back to, you know, smooth sailing immediately. You know, I'm actually having a weird rodent problem with one of my buildings. In fact, I gotta get one of my landlord life videos released. I'm getting quite a bit of material. They've got a table that this crap just keeps appearing on top of the table, and you know, and it's like it's coming from the ceiling. I look in the duct, it's not from the duct. We pulled all the ceiling tile, went up there. I found a nut. I'm thinking, we got a squirrel, right? I'm thinking maybe we got a squirrel. So, you know, I've already hired, whatever, you know, pest control. They put traps up there and came up with nothing. I actually had an electrician put in a couple of outlets up there so I could plug in these ultrasonic, you know, that repel rodents, make them crazy to go away. And let's see. Anyways, I'm looking at questions here, trying to go back here. Tom Graham coming up as Charles. Took the mentorship second class. Oh, hey, thanks, Charles. Gotcha. Oh, Ticey. Gotcha. Thanks, Tom. I got another Tom G in here, too. Enrique. Yeah, no, I love it. You know, and that's the best part about it is, you know, I tell you, when you get through the class, even if you don't buy anything right away, you're going to be so much smarter and wiser. You're just going to be so much wiser and an investor. And you're going to understand that you don't have to jump. You're going to understand the system. You're going to understand that, you know, that's the thing. A lot of people, you think there's certain things that are an issue that are not. You know, it's just like a lot of times we're all intimidated by, yeah, gee, going out on the dance floor, I got to dance. You know, and you go, you know, and I can't particularly dance well. I already know that, but but I don't worry about it. I know I can go out there and move around. And that's the thing. A lot of it, I think, what I hope to instill in you in just talking like this is just confidence. Whether you buy my book or not, I don't care. Of course, it doesn't matter. It is such a huge thing. I've lived an amazing life. I pretty much have worked and been fairly wealthy And I didn't come from wealth, okay? Since I was 19 years old, because the ride was fun. You know, I made money along the way. I had tough times. You can read in my book about Sandy. Oh, by the way, if you get my Audible book, there's a little, I go off record and I tell, it's a little racy, okay? There's some nudity described, okay? But it's nothing a kid couldn't read, believe me. But yeah, there's a little extra in there about Sandy that I didn't put in the book originally, but just kind of, that's on the Audible. Okay, do you think there is money in commissioning artwork? Yeah, absolutely. So check this out. It's funny you say that because I used to own famousartists.com. But yeah, there's money. Listen, I have over 100 tenants now, I think. When you have that many tenants, it blows you away because you're going, you do what? You do what? You know, for a living, that's what you do? There's so many different things, that and ways of making money. But yeah, absolutely. Listen, there's no higher paid job than sales, okay? That's where all the money is. So commissioning art, if you're talking about being a middleman, yeah, of course. Yeah, do it. And I tell all my kids, I said, man, you got to have a skill to make money. You know, if you have a skill to make some money, then you just save that money. And then ideally, if you have a job that gives you some free time, which, you know, the way things are today, people working from home, they do have more of their own time that they're in control of. When you have that, that's power because you have time to look, to answer a call, to answer an email, you know, to chase a lead on a deal, on a property. And, even though with my cabinet, I started with a cabinet shop, 19, I started my cabinet shop. That's what led me to my first property. Well, I was broke, but I was the boss. I could drop everything and leave. I would get a fax, right? I had a fax. I remember I paid $1,800 for my first fax machine. And believe me, that was like the equivalent of a cell phone, okay, today, or whatever, a space phone now. But at the time, that was like major communication. I could sign a contract. I could make an order. I could get lumber delivered. It was amazing. And then from there, a pager. That was pretty awesome. And then from there, I had two-way radios. And the power of a two-way radio, I got guys leaving on a truck to go to a job, and I find out there's no power on the job. And I'm calling, I'm saying, hey, stop by the rental yard. You got to rent a compressor because there's no power out there for the nail guns, right? And so, it's an interesting day and age. Now we have PropStream for going through the data. I was a data miner. I was probably one of the earliest ones ever going through the data. And the way I did it back then, it was harder. I had to get microfiche. I remember I bought a little box of microfiche, right? A microfiche is like 3x5 index cards. It looks like a piece of film, but when you put light behind it, magnify it, it blows up and it shows you put 100 documents on a little piece of plastic, which isn't very impressive by today's standards, but back then it was. But it would have all the data of all the owners of all the property, and that's what I would do. And I would just painstakingly, look at it, and then I punch it into a rough DOS computer. Okay, DOS computing, your computer. My first computer was probably, I think I paid $4,500. And it was a clunker. It was by any standards today, and you wouldn't even want to use anything that slow. But again, things keep changing and get better and easier to get at the data. And in some ways, maybe it will make it more competitive. But there's no replacement for the skills that you learn in my book and what I've taught you in the mentorship, and primarily about walk up to the door, talk to the person, send the letter, go the extra mile, stop, turn, look at the sign, pick that sign up that's laying face down. These are the kinds of things that will separate you from the winners and the losers. It's just, you do the extra work. You got to do the work. But, hey, please subscribe if you just got in here. Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate is my book, and you can get it. It's you guys know the spiel. Anyhow, hey, Garrett, your daughter Elise says hi. All right, we'll tell her I said hello. Hi, Elise. RJ, say, hey, Tom, I'm about to buy your book, but don't have much money to get a property. ATM. Does it teach you to get a house with little or no money. Listen, RJ, it teaches you how to make money. And I mean, I mean, there's other people here. You guys can comment in the sections back and forth. The people there's a lot of people watching right now that have already taken the mentorship, taken the class. Get the book. It's $20. You can afford the book. Get the book. Start there. You don't need to take the class, okay? And believe me, most people would tell you exactly what you want to hear to join their mentorship, to take their class. Not me. I don't care. I really don't need the money. But read the book. Make sure you got a passion for it. If you watched enough of my videos right here, you would already know the answer to that question. You don't have to focus on a house. You don't have to focus on a duplex or a lot or a commercial. I mean, it's good to focus on a neighborhood, but you got to remember, it doesn't matter what it is. There's no problem, Joe. There's no bad properties. There's just bad deals, right? There's no bad properties, but you can pay too much for anything. You can buy the most beautiful property in the world and pay too much for it. You know, that's the thing. I love land, and Enrique was talking about land. I love land. I made a lot of money on land, but I made a lot of money on apartments. I made a lot of money on houses and assignments, of course. But I'm not going to tell somebody that is like doesn't have much money, or to take my mentorship. I mean, you need to work on making a little bit of money. You got to have a little bit of money too. But what I will tell you this is, you can apply the same principles that are in the book. Get the book. Number one, get the book, because remember, I call this flip anything, okay? It doesn't have to be real estate. You can flip anything, and I've demonstrated. If you watch my videos, and I did it just for the hell of it, but there are a roll top desk, scissor lift, scenography machines. Those are videos of mine that I've made in the last 4 or 5 years, or 4 years ago. You can make money on things. You can make a lot of money on things. I bought a fire truck. I bought a fire truck online, I think like in 1998 or something like that. Internet was still pretty early. And I bid on a fire truck, and I bid on a Hummer. I didn't get the Hummer, but I got the fire truck for $11,700. And I sold it a month later to Ponca City, Oklahoma City Fire Department in Oklahoma, and I made about $20,000. You can do it with anything. You just have to know value. You know the value of the asset, whether it's property or just whatever the tangible asset is. And know the value, and then you know what to pay for it, which means buy it for much less than it's worth, and then just turn it. They had a stamping machine that whenever you see, like any kind of like that's different. That's inset on that, but anything that's printed, they got rid of embossing. They print stuff like on shirts or on plastic stuff. Well, I had a need for one of those machines for one of the companies that I have, and I realized, these are valuable. And then I found a couple that were really cheap, and I bought them all, and I just put them back up for sale, and I made a couple grand on each one. A friend of mine bought a Macintosh amplifier, which I don't know anything about music, but I guess a Macintosh amplifier is quite valuable. And he found one in Goodwill. He looked at it, he goes, oh, geez, $200. He bought it for $200 and he sold it for $2,000. You can do stuff like that. And listen, don't think you're wasting your time going to Goodwill. Go to Goodwill. Go to Goodwill, okay? Find out when they put the new stuff on the shelves. You can walk through Goodwill and find fantastic deals. And I'm a Goodwill guy. I mean, I enjoy it. I just enjoy walking through that stuff. And seeing what's there, because it's like a treasure hunt, right? It's not for the money, but yeah, you know that. I don't know that, Enrique, but I believe you. I think you might have corrected me on the amplifiers, but yeah, I guess they're a hell of an amplifier. But yeah, you can. I mean, and like I said, garage sales. You guys know, people that are in the class know why I go to garage sales, but you can go make money on garage sales too. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know about flipping wooden pallets, dude. Garrett, no, Garrett, I would say don't. One of the things you need to assess when you listen, here's something this is something I'll tell everybody right now. I like stuff that is small and valuable. Okay, getting away from real estate. I like things that are small and valuable. And the reason I like that is because I can carry it in my pocket. I don't need a warehouse. I don't need a forklift to pick it up, right? I mean, I could be wheeling and dealing tractors, or refrigerators. But guess what? I got to pick them up. They take up too much space. But like if I knew diamonds, I tell you what, if that would have been my first job, being involved with diamonds and jewelry, I would know diamonds. I would know value of diamonds. Okay, and that's what I would do. I would just study diamonds. I mean, if that was my first job, and I would know the value of diamonds. But diamonds, how wonderful! You could, I'm not a fan of jewelry, but that's not my thing. But imagine you could have $10 million in a shoebox, right? You don't need much room to store it. I mean, you'd probably keep it at the bank, of course. But again, so think in terms and value. Like I say, that amplifier is probably the size of a suitcase, I imagine. That he bought for 200. Something you can fit in your car, right? Something you can carry by yourself. Look at things of value. This nail gun that I just bought for $250. It's brand new. Guess what? You might be able to pick one of those up for $100 and sell it for $150. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can flip anything. You just have to know the value of something, and then you know when it's a deal, what you can buy as a deal. So again, real estate, of course, is this. To me, there's nothing better, and that's when you got more money, you can play that game. Yeah, Larry likes watches. I don't think he makes money on watches. Maybe he does, but yeah, Grant Cardone likes watches too, I think. But it doesn't matter. Everybody likes different things. I kind of like guns. My kids like guns. One of my boys likes guns. But I mean, I don't really have. What I really like is what I do. I like real estate, and I don't buy it for emotional purposes. But every once in a while, I really. I appreciate real estate. I appreciate land. I like big trees. So I have an expense for it. That's how I roll. That's how I always have. And, but yeah, I don't have any fun little hobbies where I collect things, right? Like cars or cars are very, I'm very utilitarian. But if somebody's got a hobby that involves watches, yeah, you could make a pile of money. You would know a deal when you saw one. So absolutely, you could make money on watches. All right, Matt just got the book too. He says he loves it. Keep reading, man. It takes 4 hours to read it. I know, because I just read it into a microphone, and now it's on Audible. Delta Air, yeah. Hey, airsoft guns. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I probably have quite a few in front of me in one of my cupboards here, outside, because me and my one son, we shoot the heck out of airsoft guns and BB guns and pellet guns. I enjoy the marksmanship and playing that sort of thing. But yeah, airsoft guns, yeah, I mean, you could. But again, they sure break. I got a lot of broken airsoft guns. I'd be a little bit afraid of your inventory, how easily it could break. Because they break easy anyways. Okay, have I flipped anything from a pawn shop? Thinking of Pawn Star owners have left plenty of meat on. Yeah, they're pretty good about getting their money out. I don't know about that. I listen. I've gone into pawn shops to buy stuff before, and you know what happens is I get sick to my stomach because what I see, because I'm there for tools, right? I like tools. Generally, when I've gone to a pawn shop, it'd be to get a Sawzall. And one time I bought a bandsaw, a Milwaukee bandsaw. It's a portable bandsaw, great tool. And you know what? I just look at it, and I could see where somebody's name was on it, and that was scratched off. So I know I'm buying something that has been stolen, and I just can't do it. I mean, I bought one tool once. I think it was at a pawn shop, but it just made me ill every time I looked at the damn tool to see that some hardworking guy like myself, some bastard broke into his truck and stole his frickin' saw. And or his other tools too. It happens all the time. It's disgusting. So but anyhow, yeah, you can buy anything. You can buy anything. Doesn't matter. But just consider what I said. It's something I've always considered. I like expensive and small, because I can make a deal, I can pay for it, I can put it in my pocket, I can put it in the trunk of my car, or I can get it in my car, I can get it in the back of my truck. I don't want something that's so heavy I got to use two people to pick it up. Not that it doesn't happen. If you look at that roll top desk that I bought, and I bought that purely for the channel, but I did it because, look up oak roll top desk. You see I bought a roll top desk for $200, and I resold it for $1,000 or $800, one or the other. But it was worth $4,000 new. It was a no-brainer. I go, okay, we're back. I lost you guys for a minute. Yeah, okay, I'm back. Hey, Dave, glad you're here, David. So, yeah, mine did too. I mean, I was looking at myself frozen. But I'm not sure where you lost me, but basically what I'm saying is, yeah, flip things. If you don't have enough money to play the real estate game, that's fine. Either do work and save, and on the side, buy smaller things that are worth more than you're paying for them and sell those and make money. Even one of my sons, he's not doing it right now, but he'd have a pair of sneakers coming in that he bought, and by the time they got here, he was shipping them out the same day to somebody else and making $100. So there's just so many ways to make money, but I'm afraid we're going to end up getting frozen here again. So I'm, like I said, this in the studio. This is my home, but I just wanted to check in. Okay. Oh, hey Tom, I got a building lot ready to build. My realtor wants me to sell pre-construction. Should build and sell. Or go with pre-con sell. Liam, I don't know. If you want to be a builder, I mean, I'm a builder, okay? I've built plenty of homes. So me and you both are carpenters, right? You could just get caught holding the bag. I mean, you structure the deal, but I used to make 80 grand on a home that I'd sell for 180. I made a lot of money at the time, but most of it was the lot, because I bought the land right. That's what really, you guys know the story. I was buying land, and I figured, geez, I can make as much on 3 lots as I do building a home. And I was making a lot of money building a home, 80 grand. And I turned that in about 4 months, or less sometimes. So, you know what? I don't know, Liam. And I apologize we hadn't talked. I know you told me you had an idea for me. I just got a little busy. And I got my mother. My mother, I'm guardian for my mother. And I've had her out of town for a while, staying with one of my sisters. And now she'll be coming back here in a couple weeks. So I'll be getting interrupted a lot more. Let's see. Oh, Gonzalo, you're just going to have to buy the book. I mean, how am I going to answer that question? It's not going to happen this quickly. There's a lot to negotiating price. Just depends on the situation. But get the book, Gonzalo, get the book. That'll save a lot of time and questions for me, and it'll answer a bunch of your questions if you get through reading it all. But hey man, thanks for coming out. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. You'll get a lot of good wisdom, I promise you. I wouldn't steer you wrong. Been doing it a long time, and I'm happy to help anybody that's hungry to make money and hungry to and it doesn't matter what age you are. You make a few $100,000. If you're young, that's fantastic. If you're old, it'll help too, right? It'll improve things. So, hey, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If any of you would, you can go into the comments. I'm not talking about the chat, but the comments. Throw something in there. It actually helps the channel. But also, for some reason, I get a number of Chinese girls writing me love notes. If I don't get comments right away from people after the live chat, then I get a ton of spam. So it's kind of funny. But hey, thanks, Delta. And look, you young guys are, I sold candy, I sold bicycles, I sold mini bikes, I sold cars. And yeah, I know, Jose. Hey, Jose, glad you're here. Just start selling something. right? You know what? Look at Meet Kevin, right? Meet Kevin. You guys know I'm pretty critical and hard on him. And I just did a video. Hey, watch that video, by the way, and like it and comment on that one too, please. But I just did a good one, I think, on Kevin. But a lot of people only got through about half of it. You know, I get to see how many minutes people watch, but which is actually pretty good. But what I was going to say is, look at how he has evolved, okay? You know, he got into real estate, then he saw Graham Stephan, saw, hey, that looks like something I can do. He got into that, and he's been phenomenal. He's a phenomenal YouTuber. I don't think he's a good investor, obviously, but I tell you what, man, you know, hats off to Kevin, man. He follows the money. My understanding is he made over $1 million last month. And maybe he has had 2 months in a row, $1 million in, you know, YouTube related revenue. I mean, he doesn't need to know anything about real estate. Yeah, you're right. Kevin is a damn beast. He's a YouTube beast. Oh, Charles, you sealed the deal today, man. I look forward to hearing about it. That's great. But yeah, and Jose, man, look at YouTube, buddy. You know, just look at all the possibilities. You know, there's a lot of ways to make money, and you know, just like people get the mindset, oh, I want to buy a duplex because I can live in one side and rent out the other, and I'll live for free. I mean, and I make fun, but I don't mean to make fun because I used to think the same way. It doesn't matter. You buy a property under market and then hand it off and put the cash in your bank account. That's power, is cash, money, having money in the bank. So, but hey, thanks everybody. Thanks Liam, Jose, you know, Delta, everybody that comes in here, all the regulars and everybody new. Subscribe, join up, watch those other 2 videos. They're really good. Even if you're too impatient, go near the end and watch the stuff on, yeah, good news, Charles. Look forward to hear about it. Look at the numbers on Graham's portfolio. It really is a pretty cool little exercise to go through. You know me, watch it at high speed. So, hey, have a great night, everyone. I appreciate you coming out listening. Sorry I didn't have the studio set up. Chris is so busy. He's working his ass off on his real estate deal that he bought, the flip he's working on. And so he couldn't. I'm glad he didn't show up because we wouldn't have been able to do anything anyways. So, all right. Yep. Good night, everyone. Again, thanks, everybody. Take care.